President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo thanks Western Region for party's victory in the general elections. Hello, good evening and welcome. This is News Hour and we are live on your news channel GBC24 and GTV. My name is Akbene Avo Ajaja.
And I am Micheline Taka. You're most welcome. President-elect Nana Akufo-Addo has paid a courtesy call on members of the Western Regional House of Chiefs to show appreciation for their support in ensuring the party's victory in the general elections.
The region played a pivotal role in MPP's victory in the elections. From 8 parliamentary seats out of 26 in 2012, the party was able to garner 16 seats this year, while the presidential votes for the party moved from 48% in 2012 to 52% this year. Nana Akufo-Addo, accompanied by the Vice President-elect, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the acting national chairman, Mr. Freddie Blee, a former Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Ebenezer Techi Hughes, some national executives and other leading members of the party met members of the Western Regional House of Chiefs to express their gratitude for the support. Nana Akufo-Addo reiterated his commitment to fight corruption so as to channel the resources into meeting the development needs of the country. He indicated that some of the proceeds from the country's oil will be invested in rehabilitation of the Western Rail Line. The president-elect said he will fulfill his campaign promises, such as relocating the headquarters of the GMPC and the creation of the Western North region. He therefore appealed to the chiefs and people to support him.
Our commitments are going to be fulfilled. They were not platform or campaign talk. They were full commitments that we have made. We are going to relocate the headquarters of GMPC to this. The timetable we have put out is that by the time of the next district assembly elections in 2008, all the constitutional and legal proceedings involved in the creation of the region will have taken place, and the referendum that the Constitution calls for is going to take place together with It's not going to be possible for the region to be created unless I have your active support. It may be number one, so bako about the same one. So no one, no region idea I can't
For his part, the president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Ojiawaho Yaujibi, said the change agenda must be actualized in all its ramifications so that the systemic neglect of the Western region will be a thing of the past.
No environment has experienced greater destruction than our region. Yet, as a people, we have always strongly believed in the unity of this country and our shared destiny, even when we do not find our men and women serving on boards or important public positions. And our people in the private sector seem to be among those who have to struggle for bonds to keep their businesses going. Despite the abundance of resources extracted for the welfare of this country, we seem to be mired in poverty.
The Vice-Chancellor of the Sunyani Technical University, the upgraded Sunyani Polytechnic, Professor Kwadwo Dinkra Appiah, has expressed the optimism that the conversion of polytechnics into technical universities will help maintain a balance in the number of students opting for academic programs and those enrolling for technical courses, especially at the tertiary level. Professor Dinkra Appiah was speaking at the inauguration of the Sunyani Technical University in the Bono-Ahafo regional capital.
The Sunyani Technical University has gone through a series of transformation to get to its current shape and status. It started in 1967 as the Sunyani Technical Institute before being transformed into the Sunyani Polytechnic in 1997. The school has undergone another upgrade to become the Sunyani Technical University STU. Its inaugural ceremony coincided with the first matriculation of 1,532 students who enrolled for various programs. They are made up of 927 males and 560 females. The Deputy Bono Ahafo Regional Minister, Mr. Samuel Justice Ejay, described the elevation of the institution as a pillar of growth in the region.
The upgrading stems from the roles and contributions that are expected of this university towards national development, as well as government's vision to expand and improve the nation's human resource and manpower by creating more avenues and opportunities for our young men and women to acquire the needed skills and knowledge to enable them steer and manage the resources and affairs of this country.
In his inaugural address, the Vice Chancellor of the Sunyani Technical University, Professor Kwejidin Krapia, said the technical universities will give a major boost to technical education in Ghana by addressing challenges such as agitations by students and staff of former polytechnics, and also redefine the role of polytechnics in general.
Today's local inauguration of the Sunyani Technical University is to fulfill a constitutional mandate to pave way for the 4-year Bachelor of Technology (BTech) programs and other higher degree programs to commence at the Sunyani Technical University. I wish to use this occasion to assure members of staff of this technical university that their continued employment in this university is guaranteed by Article 42, Section 6 of the Technical Universities Act.
A 5-year strategic plan for the university was launched, along with the outdooring of a new logo and
Vocational and technical education providers in the country are advocating a single ministry that would be responsible for managing the activities instead of the current practice where the area spreads under many ministries and departments. Practitioners in the sector believe this situation, coupled with the lack of policy, direction and disregard for vocational and technical education, account for their many challenges. The Executive Director of NVTI, Engineer Stephen Amponsa, and other stakeholders advocated this during an exhibition and graduation ceremony of the Brewer Vocational and Technical Rehabilitation Institute in the Central Region.
Vocational and technical education are believed to be the solution to the 21st century's development challenges, especially in the area of job creation. A total of 216 trainees who have successfully completed their courses in vocational and technical programs graduated from the Brewer Vocational and Technical Rehabilitation Institute. They showcased some of their handwork. Since its establishment 42 years ago, Brewer Vocational and Technical Rehabilitation Institute has trained a total of over 6,500 youth in automobile, hospitality, woodwork, fashion, construction and garment industries. The head of the Department of the Vocational and Technical Education at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Mrs. Christiana Boatin, said vocational and technical education must be aligned with industry. The regional manager of Brewer Vocational and Technical Rehabilitation Institute, Engineer Samuel Kwashi Amegbo, outlines some of the challenges the institute is faced with.
The major challenges are obsolete tools, equipment and machines, absence of vehicle pickup, for example, pickup and a bus at the institute for day-to-day running, and then educational trips. Absence of an assembly hall, inadequate hostel facilities for the trainees, especially the boys, inadequate classrooms, poor road and pavement network on campus, inadequate accommodation for staff, high dropout rate due to inability of parents to provide basic needs for their wards.
The Executive Director of NVTI, Noble Engineer Stephen Amponsa, bemoaned the disregard for vocational and technical education in the country.
It's good to have the certificate, but it's better
to be employed with a certificate. Strategic policies to ensure that trainees are, one, well trained, and secondly or two, they should be employed no matter the course.
Over half the world's population rely on rice as a staple of their diet. However, reports of sale of alleged plastic rice is a cause of worry to many. In the second part of our story on plastic rice, we bring you some simple and easy tips and tricks to detect fake rice.
It is a grain derived from the seed of the grass species Oryza sativa for the Asian rice, or Oryza glaberrima for the African rice. Social media is awash with reports of alleged plastic rice on the Ghanaian market. But head of communications at the Food and Drugs Authority, Mr. James Latte, says checks conducted by the authority found no plastic rice in the country. He said there are some plastic particles, which are industrial raw materials, whose shape is the same with rice.
One of our officers went to Nigeria for a program. Fortunately for her, she saw a bag containing some of these pellets you are talking about. And these pellets are raw materials for blowing plastic bottles. I want to have a sample here. Plastic bottles. So she was there when they demonstrated. They put it in a machine with, models. And then the machine puts it, melts it, and puts it in the shape of a bottle. So they are bottle raw materials and not rice. But I am not saying that. But what you are talking about, that's what I'm referring to that. But if anybody has a sample of this rice we are talking about, everybody is ready to investigate it.
So how does one identify fake rice? These are just a few tips that you can try at home. Just pour a little bit of rice in a glass of water. If the rice is fake, it will float at the top. There is another simple process. Just put rice in very hot oil. If the rice is made with plastic, it will melt and turn black and also have a plastic smell. You may also check the rice while boiling it. If it is plastic, then it will start forming a thick layer at the top of the pan. These tips are very simple and easy, and you can try at home.
Top on the list on many festive occasions is food. Many choose to celebrate with family and friends while feasting on all manner of dishes and generally making merry. This includes vegetarians whose diet often do not include meat or fish, and in some cases dairy products. It is not uncommon to assume that a vegetarian's meal is basically leafy greens, but a vegetarian also has a variety of tasty meals that a non-vegetarian can enjoy on any occasion. GBC24 spent time in the kitchen of a vegetarian who cooked up a storm of mouth-watering dishes matched by an interesting aroma.
A vegetarian is one who lives on a diet of grains, legumes, seeds, vegetables, and in some cases, non-dairy based products. But there are different kinds of vegetarians who strictly keep to their diets. Since many don't know what a vegetarian diet consists of, it is easy to overlook them when preparing a menu for a party. So, some actually carry along their own meals when they go out to visit friends or even to a party, sometimes in order not to embarrass the host. It is not uncommon for a vegetarian not to eat at all when they are at a party or any other social gathering. GBC24 was invited to the kitchen of a vegetarian at Ibri, Dr. Sherita Yazid, to sample a variety of vegetarian dishes. For after all, a vegetarian diet, according to health experts, is the best to cut out all manner of diseases. Dr. Yazid prepared different fruits and showed us some of the ingredients in the process as she walked us through.
Or sometimes people call it jeera. So which one is this? This is the curry. You know what? Let me
It took barely 2.5 hours, and Dr. Yazid had prepared 3 different meals. The recipes were bursting with flavor, and the aroma in the kitchen was heavenly. She first made beetroot stew.
Caramelizing it. I like to take that and scoop that up because this is part of it. Okay, and there we have it. We have our beetroot stew.
The stew was to be accompanied by garden vegetable rice.
So much rice, and the white rice, which has no nutritional value. If that's the rice that you just have to have, it's best to eat it this way with lots and lots of vegetables inside.
Some of us may not know that melon seeds are healthy, so Dr. Yazid also made a stew from melon seeds. This menu was finally topped with a fruit drink made from pineapple and sweet sap seeds. Sweet sap is otherwise known as alugun tugui to some Ghanaians. Dr. Sherita Yazid spoke about some health benefits derived from the vegetables.
We go for a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Do stay with us.
Welcome back to the news. This is the business segment. Poultry farmers are optimistic of improving upon their turnovers in the remaining days of this festive season. The farmers are hopeful that Ghanaians will patronize local birds and reduce the high importation of chicken and other poultry products from foreign markets, which ran into millions of dollars. Last year, the sector battled with the outbreak of bird flu, which dwindled sales.
Last year, poultry farmers across the country recorded their worst ever sales in decades, especially during the Christmas and New Year festivities. According to a nationwide survey by the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers, they made less than 35% sale of poultry products, and this was due to the outbreak of the bird flu.
What we faced last year was a very serious problem that we encourage everybody to understand or get better information than to just take a surface one or just from friends and they will start making their conclusion, which is not the best.
We didn't see the market that we used to see. Compare that to last year. Last year, though there's a bird flu, but people were still buying.
The Yuletide is here, and poultry farmers hope to take advantage of the festive season and give customers a bonanza in order to clear their stock. As it is the norm, many people will buy either live or frozen chicken from sellers throughout the country during the festivities. The sector employs over 10,000 people in the country, and the live bird sellers are part of the poultry value chain in the country.
Last year and this year, comparing sales, I think this year sales is drastically down. And I can attribute that to the administration. I learned there's been some changes in the administration. There are new people, and they organize this thing, they make some implementations, and they change certain things. I mean, last year we used to sell the broilers with the layers in front of the ministry, but this time they brought the layers back and the broilers in front. That's normal, but then I think they could have given some signboards and other things to direct people.
Prices are high because of the stand. The charges of the stand is also high now, so it's all affecting the cost of labor and cost of transportation, and those stuff are all factors to the high expenses of the fowls this year.
The people who are employed in the value chain are the veterinary doctors, veterinary extension officers, poultry farmers, live bird sellers, egg sellers, and the chop bar operators. In Accra, the live bird markets can be found at Mala Market, Kaneshi, and Kantamanto. Apart from local fowls, there are other birds such as duck, turkey, and guinea fowl, on sale at the market. At the Mala market, there were about 25 young men who make a living by slaughtering and dressing live birds. Usually, the customers would like to have the chicken either fully or partly dressed. The spokesperson for the live bird traders at the Mala market, Mr. Isaiah Akawiba, who has been in the business for over 20 years, is optimistic that this year's sales will be better than last year's because there is no bird flu outbreak in the country.
Live birds are better and healthier than already dressed imported ones.
He and others spoke about the challenges facing the business.
Most of the birds die before we reach our destinations due to long distances from the farmers and vehicular traffic.
The Kaneshie market was our next port of call, but here, the environment in which the birds are slaughtered and dressed leaves much to be desired. The chairman of the bird sellers at the Kaneshie market, Mr. John Agamba, has been in this business for 45 years.
I can say last year they buy things, but not too much how we need it.
He appealed to Ghanaians to patronize the birds that have been raised locally because their taste is better than the imported ones.
Every food from down, whether yam, cassava, everything they are from down. So when they say fowl, they chop down. What about the fruit way from down? Since you have forefathers, they know how the local fowl is. So local is better than every fowl.
Titus Agana has also been doing this business at the Kaneshie market for the past 23 years.
You can't double any kruku, any abroad no machine.
Some birds, including ducks, turkey, and guinea fowl, are unique and tasty, but are often not patronized due to high prices.
And also, when tasting is good. Man for pepper. But answers are not anybody didn't be bringing and tanto.
There is a perception that sometimes when customers order chicken from the live birds traders, they do add fowls which had died on the farms. But this was denied by Stephen Aguila.
We have customers who buy dead birds to feed their dogs, pigs, and other animals.
There are several benefits to be derived from getting broilers or layers from the live market, including taste. The last port of call were Katamanton and La Paz live bird markets. There are about 600 live bird traders. Asongo Akubire, Vincent Apanga, and Patrick Awinisiga have been in the business for about 10 years. One of the problems affecting the business of the live bird sellers is the cage that facilitates the transportation of the fowls to their various markets. According to them, the plastic cage is very expensive compared to the millet stalks and raffia.
When they go to factories, they have some there, but we don't have. We don't have money to go and buy them at the factory. One is 100.
Using the plastic cages is better as far as biosecurity in the live bird markets on the poultry farms are concerned, because with the plastic cages they can wash them, disinfect them, and reuse again. But in the case of the local straw cages, they cannot be washed and they cannot be disinfected and they cannot be reused again. So economically, it is advisable to have the plastic cages. Now, who is to buy the plastic cages for the live bird market traders? Of course, it is a private business, so it is up to the live bird market traders to come together, contribute money, and buy a few at a time.
There are 10 live bird markets in Accra, But there is an emerging and growing live bird market termed mobile market, where women carry spent layers, cockerels or broilers on their heads, not in the live bird market areas, and sell them within townships.
And that's it for the business segment of the news. We'll be back shortly with some health news. Do stay with us.
Welcome to the health segment. Stress is primarily the body's physical response to a disturbing situation that causes a number of disturbing reactions. This condition can affect a person's mental and physical well-being. GBC24 spoke to a clinical psychologist of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Mr. Notedua, and he cautions that this recurrent stress can be harmful.
Generally, stress is normal and part of human life. One can experience positive or negative forms of stress emanating from the body, the environment, or from one's thoughts. Scientists say some stresses can get one going. Researchers are also of the view that life will be boring and probably pointless without stress. Stress occurs when one feels pressured and overwhelmed. At that moment, one wonders whether he or she can really cope with the situation. Sources of stress in an environment are noise, unpleasant people, speeding cars, or even going out on a first date. When one is stressed up, blood diverts to the muscles. This disrupts digestion and releases hormones such as adrenaline, cortisol, and norepinephrine, which can lead to a rise in sugar and blood pressure levels, a decrease in libido, resulting in heightened alertness, which leads to one's inability to sleep. As a result, this can undermine both mental and physical health.
When we have the stress that is adequate enough to get us to act, we say that stress is good stress. So when stress is at a level where you can do the right thing and you are mobilized to do the right thing, we say that stress is good stress. We call it eustress. But when stress is so high that it actually compromises your performance or your ability to get things done, then that is bad stress. All right? And when stress is too low also, then people are apathetic. They don't do what they are supposed to do.
The way one responds to challenges may also be a type of stress. A clinical psychologist of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Mr. Notedua, advised the public to minimize the use of mobile phones, especially during working hours, as that could help reduce daily stress.
A lot of stress is internally or personally generated. For example, you decide you must drive the latest car, or wear designer perfume, or have Brazilian hair. Somebody doesn't care about that. They don't have your stress. Okay, so there are things you can modify, and that actually has an impact on your stress load and the things you are adjusting to. Stress management is much more than calming down. It involves eating well, it involves time management. Stress is related to health. Okay, when you are under stress, your body pumps certain hormones and certain body chemicals into the system. They are there for a purpose, and they are there for short durations. Okay, so they come in, they solve the problem, they go out. When you are under persistent chronic stress, these chemicals, which are very strong, stay in your blood for longer, and then they start to damage certain body systems. So there's a strong relationship between stress and health.
Individuals are encouraged to take note of things around them that stress them up. This will enable them to beat stress before stress beats them.
That's all for health. Let's talk some sports now. The Ghana Football Association has announced the Black Stars program ahead of the 2017 African Cup of Nations, which will be staged in Gabon. The senior national team's program for next month's tournament was approved after a meeting between management committee and technical team. The team will have a 3-day non-residential training session at the St. Thomas Aquinas starting tomorrow. After that, Coach Avram Grant will announce his final squad for the competition. The team will then embark on a 12-day training tour in the United Arab Emirates before landing in the host nation on the 13th of January. The Black Stars will be hoping to end their 34-year drought in the competition. The Stars are in Group D with Uganda, Egypt and Mali. Almost everything under the Ghanaian sun is available for sale at Kantamanto in Accra's Central Business District. Used clothes, cosmetics, utensils, paint, etc. The list is endless. But did you know also that a weekend comes alive with a variety of sporting activities at Kantamanto? From playing cards to draft and football, probably going by the adage, all work and no play, they must let off some steam after a week of hard work. Right in the heart of Kantamanto, some polio survivors have discovered a calling, and they say this has a huge influence on their lives. They are called the Rolling Rockets.
On a good practical pitch, the team is made up of 7 players per side.
It depends on the size. If we have a proper handball court size, 6 players and a goalkeeper, making it 7. But here the size, because of the size, we're doing 4 players and a goalkeeper.
The rules of the game are just like conventional football. However, they play with the back of the palm.
It's like normal football, offsides, penalty, fouls, everything. The only thing is that you don't play with your palm. You raise the ball with the back of the the hand, as against, and if you fall off the skate, it's just like losing your boots on the field of play. So they have to tie the skate to their legs. It's just like you've laced your boots.
The needed equipment is very easy to find on the market.
You need the skate shoes, which you take the shoe off and fix under a board with some foam on it to make your skate. Then they need a belt to tie the legs, onto the seat. Then they need elbow pads and knee pads because there's a lot of collision in it. And sometimes, as we go forward, we will try and get them helmets because there's a lot of crashing here and there.
But for the players, it is quite expensive since they are mostly beggars on the streets of Accra because of their disability.
We
need more jerseys and protective gears.
GBC24 sought to find out the origin of skate soccer in Ghana.
We've been playing here since 2009. Since 2009, it's been me, myself, putting in as much as I can, supporting them in terms of their health, their basic needs, sometimes support accommodation, changing the skates, it's all me.
Meet Rasta. He is in his late 40s and has lived with this disability since he was 12. He says he lives every day in anticipation of meeting his teammates on Sunday for their training session.
If I don't play on Sundays, I feel sick because I have become used to the training. Before Sundays, we beg on the streets for a living. I have 4 children.
He takes us through the process of making the skate soccer board.
We take the wheels off the normal skating board and attach them to a board or plywood with cushion on it.
The game started from Nigeria and since then it has spread across the African continent. Albert and his team players hope that some support will come their way immediately because they say, until you make your situation a disability, it is never an inability. For GBC24, Shelley Annan, Kantamanto, Accra.
Still in sports, Manchester City are now second on the English Premier League with a 3-0 win over bottom side Hull City. That's all for sports.
In the art segment, local fishermen in Accra make their daily living along the shores. However, on Tuesday, all fishing activities come to a halt in communities along the coast. GBC24 brings you sights and sounds from Jamestown and Choko.
Within the Ghana community, it is frowned upon to go fishing on Tuesdays. Most activities come to a standstill, not only at Jamestown, but at other beaches in Accra. It is not known when such tradition started, but the fishermen at the BCA, the traditions go back in time for many generations. Canoes crafted from giant trees, crisscrossing each other, were parked along the shore. Others stayed anchored close by. The fishermen observed Tuesdays by making repair touches to their canoes, whilst others mend their fishing nets in preparations for fishing the following day.
We spend Tuesdays repairing our boats and mending our nets. We do not go fishing.
Atlante Mami in Choko, the atmosphere was very calm. Notable was the heap of garbage at the shores of the Choko beach. Some of the residents called on authorities to come to their aid by providing the community with refuse containers to help solve the persistent insanitary conditions of the community.
We plead with authorities to provide our community with waste bins. We want to put a stop to dumping refuse at the seashore.
Community FFA slow.
The youth in the area have no work. This has made living difficult.
The chief fisherman of the area, Ni Abu Anoba, entreated authorities to put measures in place to check pearl trawling within the territorial waters of Ghana.
Chana be any bachuni e won show me. I mean you awi. Awi na me yoji. I mean ba lo e ke jobi e. Na me ke ya me mam. Na ma ho e je me. Ni ka me lo e ke je bi e no na hin na me ke ba ha o. No ni hin na me ke ya me mam. No na ka je me egun wona. No won ke government age. E ani chana bi am chi wo Ghana show. Ni ame ya me mam na ma chuni e je me. Onu won wo chuni e wo mam. Ni ko nu won wo ma eshwele.
The Chinese in their activities in our waters are affecting our business. We plead with authorities to act on it.
The shores of Ghana are a place where hundreds of local fishermen make a living.
A group of poets celebrated the Boxing Day with a Grand Poetry Slam Championship in Accra. The championship saw 9 poets deliver some poetic dexterity as gifts to their audience.
Why worry, I ask and I say, why worry?
Why worry whilst tomorrow not yet here and today not yet gone? Why worry?
The Halakasa Slam group exhibited their poetry recital skills at Poetry Slam competition organized by the Nubuke Foundation in Accra. The competition was organized on Boxing Day to entertain its audience and also present to them a gift of knowledge. To the Nubuke group, poetry is a way of taking life by the throat. The poets seized the opportunity to make adolescent voices heard on topics from love to the importance of the birth of Christ. The 9 poets who competed had 3 chances to recite 3 different poems in a duration of 3 minutes 28 seconds each.
To shine when the sun is down, so I agree I'm darkness and it's light. But I don't understand why his presence is so heavy on it, so I decided to rebel against him.
We've never sat in a class before, yet between us we have chemistry. I promise I'd add a couple of sugar cubes to our destiny just to make it a sweet dream. But that's just by the way.
The left and right are needed to help the match pass. Even if not distinction, it's a pass. So I don't get the reason why the left hand has been left behind. So tonight, I took my pen to right the wrongs of the society for those left out to be accepted. So with the left hand, I write wrongs. Take a book and exercise patience. With a pen, let's write wrongs. I went away but came back to give back to the society what I gained, because sometimes situations make life worse. And I pray I'll be able to heal the world with my words.
As part of the celebration, 2 comedians known as the 2 Idiots also entertained the audience with a spectacular show.
Osmosis is a mixture of hydrocarbon gases from a mixture of a lower concentration to a mixture of a higher concentration in between the semi-permeable membrane. Okay, true or false?
When you started, it was true. But ending it became false. So let's be in the middle so we don't get ourselves confused. Because it cannot be true, it cannot be false. So let's position ourselves somewhere. Because Kwame Nkrumah said something. He said, if you move forward, forward never, backwards never. But I always say that we should stay in the middle. Because if you stand at Independence Square and you look at your back, it says Osusi. If you look in front, it's also cemetery. So where will you go? Let's be in the middle. Ghanaians, we like rushing too much. We shouldn't rush at all. Every day we should move forward. Where are we moving forward to? Do we know what is ahead of us? No. Let's stay where we are. Okay.
Some of the audience expressed excitement at the knowledgeable words from the poets.
I'm really enjoying myself here, seeing all the 9 contestants going through, and this really opens people's minds and it also brings your minds to things that happen in society.
People are getting more appreciative of what we have.
At the end of the competition, one of the poets, Betty, emerged the second runner-up. Lee took the first runner-up. Jewel was adjudged the winner of the competition. The second runner-up took home 200 Ghana cedis and T-shirts. The first runner-up also had 300 Ghana cedis and T-shirts, and the winner took home 500 Ghana cedis and T-shirts. The winner will participate in a Grand Slam competition in Côte d'Ivoire.
Everyone has his or her message. Let's say I'm lucky and it's by the grace of God. So they shouldn't focus on doing just anything. They should be themselves. They should be exceptional, and they should also focus on the message. That's the most important thing.
Also in this segment, high life music over the years has been associated with the elderly, but today high life is enjoyed by all. In recent times, some young hip life artists collaborated with some high lifers to do a remix of some old high life tunes. Kojo Entry and Ifia bridged that gap as they performed together on stage. This was at Kojo Entry's Experience concert at the Kempiski Hotel here in Accra.
That's all for news, sir. Thanks for your company. We come your way again at 10:30 with News Tonight.
Hello,